Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have Varshil Shah with us. He had scored 99.955 in CET 2022. My name is Vidhan Agrawal. I had scored 99.99 in CET 2020. So Varshil, welcome to our channel. So
Thank
firstly,
you,
I
Vidhan.
would just want you to tell our audience something about yourself.
So thank you so much, Vidhan, for the warm welcome, and I really appreciate TTP for calling me on this platform for this. So something about myself, I'm a mechanical engineer. I have passed out in 2020, and I have my work experience after that working for a startup for the next 2 years. While working for the startup, everybody were doing something or the other. Even I had this thing of getting into the management side. So looking at my friends also getting into the like good B schools, I started to give MBA CET, started to prepare for it specifically. And while preparing, eventually I thought that JB is not so far, like it's still like a possible thing. Initially, before starting, though, I thought it's like a long shot, but eventually, sooner, I thought it's still a possibility. So eventually, luckily, everything happened, everything fell into place and got there.
Perfect. So tell us, this was your first attempt or you had given CET before as well?
So this was my first attempt for MBA CET. Earlier I had given CAT during my last year of engineering, but even that wasn't much of a prepared version. Uh, I just gave to have an understanding about the test, and after that I did not apply for CET. This was my first attempt, first genuine attempt for this.
So like I understand कि CET 2022 2020 नहीं दिया होगा because you are a bit more inclined towards CAT and the job
Yeah,
etc whatever. But then why didn't you apply for CET 21? Would have been a good practice test, right?
that typically was the COVID year. So while working, actually I was relocated in Bangalore when I was working,
Okay.
and in that year, like moving out of your city and then starting off at a startup, like a job and stuff. So directly studying wasn't the next step that I wanted to take. I was just there exploring everything. So that year, typically, I was much more into my work experience and exploring new cities and everything, avenues majorly. After I got back to Mumbai in the COVID time, that time I think I saw my friends like scoring really well in CET and CAT. And that actually motivated me to, even start my prep for CET. During that while, I also used to go with my father, like understand a little business point of view. And I was also working on the same time. So that time CAT really did not come into my mind because I was a little late to prepare for that. And also my work experience and everything was going on. So I didn't really, focus much on CAT. So later on, after the uh, CAT exam got over and the results were out, that time I realized that maybe a year after this will be a little too late for my MBA. So I think in the first half of 2022, I started preparing for CET because that was like, this was going to be like, my initial starting preparation for CET. And then if things wouldn't have worked out, I would have started my CAT preparation after that.
Got it, got it. So you roughly had around, I think, 5-6 months to prepare for CET 22.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true.
Yes. And how many different test providers you had gone for?
So I started off with CET King was there. There was Test Funda, there was IMS, and yeah, near about this time as well. So many of them were there, but majorly Test Funda and CET King.
And
They,
how many
I think
mocks
these
you
were
would
relevant for my test.
test funda and CET King?
Yeah, a little.
And how many mocks you would have given in total?
Um, 45 to 50.
45 to 50. Perfect. So how were your scores like initially when you had started and towards the end, just before the paper?
So initially, I still remember when I first gave my test, I think I got a 98 or something, which was like being an engineer. I've seen people score like way better because quants, and I mean, I think even you would agree that quants and logical reasoning, they just have to like mark the questions, they just get it right. But I don't know, my time, I allotted time in a very different way and things was just haywire. So 98 was my first test score. Second test, I was a little motivated. I was like, I'll do better and stuff. I got 104. So things weren't rising a lot, but I would say that after I gave my 30 tests, I was still in the 100 to 120 region. After I think the 25th or the 30th, a little above 120 or 130. in CT King, I would say. And then in the last 10 to 15 tests, I think I was able to reach 140s already.
Mm. But initially, for the first mock, when you would have scored 98, that's really good score, yeah, for the first mock. I remember mine was around 64.
Actually, I mean, I had a little idea about the time distribution, I can say. So that helped. But I think I've seen a little better scores in the first time as well. Like people do get a triple digit in the first time. So that went,
But then you were not happy with your first score, right? 98. Your friends were
yeah,
scoring way better.
way better.
So how did you still stay motivated? I mean, what made you still prepare for it and think that you would be able to beat your friends eventually?
So as I've seen like Harsha and Chinmay as well, like he was my senior. He's still my senior at JV. And one of the things that I got from them was like given your first score, that doesn't really matter. How consistent you are with the tests later and your preparation, that really matters the most. And with all my scores, I used to go with my seniors. I mean, go to my seniors and ask them and for their advice, like how should I distribute time? What should be the strategy for that? So, like after every 10 tests, I think I used to divide, I used to strategize in a different way. I used to find my weak areas, strong areas, and consistently I used to give mocks and keep my preparation at the best level at that time. So probably that really helped me to get my scores up a little bit. And I also would say that scores are not always in the increasing range. Like getting 110, 120, like wow, that's good. Okay, staying there. But then again dropping to 105, 108. So that also happened. It was a varied thing. But eventually it was going on the higher side. So to be consistent with the tests really helped me in the long run.
Yeah, lower scores are definitely part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's all about consistency. If you feel demotivated at any point of time and if you stop preparing for that, you're gone. But
Yeah.
बस अगर ये सोच के रखोगे that कभी कभार it's okay to have lower scores, but eventually you're going to do well, then you're sorted. Because I remember, yeah, me and Aditya Sridhar, we never got into the Hall of Fame of IMS CET
Right.
games, man.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many other people in the Hall of Fame, but we still maintained our consistency. And we thought कि चलो अभी नहीं आ रहा है, but down the line we know we'd be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. Both of us got
Yeah.
99.99 and we were in JBIMS, and there were a few people from the Hall of Fame as well who couldn't
Who are
get into
not able to.
JBIMS. So it's all about consistency of mindset and being confident.
Yeah, I think that's very rightly said. That even when you're getting a low score, how to keep your mind game like positive and still, go with the best mentality. That really is, I believe.
Perfect.
At actually at IMS, I really want to thank Nachiket sir. He was there. So test funda mocks were really bad. Like the mocks that I used to give initially, I was 100 after 120 to 130. I gave that mock test funda, and I used to get 108, 110, and I used to think that my dreams of going to JB are like all shattered and
Standard.
stuff. So I used to go to Nachiket sir and like crib and cry in front of him. Sir, kuch nahi ho raha hai. Please like help. And what is this? So he's like, please just be consistent, just stay put and consistently mocks dete raho, practice karo. So I could see the scores rise there. But as you might know, IMS mocks and Trust Funda mocks, like I don't know about the relevance, but they keep you at a very good level, like the preparation.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't give you good scores, but
Yeah.
still, like your preparation level is very good there. So even if you're giving those difficult mocks and getting less scores, but it really helps you, to stay in the game. So I feel that even that's a good practice to give difficult mocks, get low scores, but still, keep your mind in the best way, like mentality in the best way possible.
यार आईएमएस में रिमेम्बर हालत टाइट हो जाती थी 100 के ऊपर लाने के लिए हालत टाइट हो जाती थी यार बस सो
100,
डिफिकल्ट द मॉक्स
120 आ गया मतलब wow, you are in the
या
Hall of Fame for sure.
120 is तो रैंक 1
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
टाइम में रिमेम्बर 120 130 मेरे को इजीली आ जाता था बट आईएमएस में 100 के ऊपर लाना आल्सो इट वाज सो डिफिकल्ट
Very difficult, very difficult. I think, and in that, one of the faculties, I think Shashank Prabhu, if you see his videos on YouTube, the way he solves the mocks and like eventually he's very casual with the test, and then eventually he gets what 160, 150, and then the next day you give the same test, you land up at 110, 120. So even that's a little demotivating at times. Yaar, kya ho raha hai? But wahi hai, like if you're still in that zone, eventually ho jayega. Matlab, if it's just about the thought where it takes you.
आई एग्री नो अर्शी यू हैड टोल्ड मी दैट TTP helped you with your preparation. So could you
Yes,
just
sir.
tell our aspirants how, in what ways did we help you?
So when I just said like Shashank Prabhu watching the videos, so in that time, like during that time, I was too much into YouTube, watching TTP, watching IMS videos and everything, and Anay's videos and Harsh's videos, like how to give those sections. Like I think Harsh has made a few videos on quants, and Anay and everybody have made general videos like how to just stay consistent and get your scores up. So even those 12-minute, 13-minute videos, you know the facts, but still if someone who has been there, who's been through the process and they are telling you, so you just feel like, yeah, I think you're in the right process and you'll still be there. So that adds like helps you with an added motivation कि नहीं नहीं हो जाएगा eventually, कुछ ना कुछ तो हो जाएगा. So TTP has done a tremendous job in that front कि कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं motivate कर ही देते थे. So I feel like I'm really obliged to TTP for that specifically. I've subscribed and of course the notification is there. Like whenever there's a new video, okay, yeah, this is informative, this is informative. So yeah, that really helped me to stay in the game for me.
Thank you so much, Varshil, for that. We'll be definitely making a lot more videos for our aspirants now.
Really appreciate it.
And it's even glad to know that people are actually watching you and our videos are actually helping you to get into JBIMS in whatever way.
Yeah, yeah. And
10%
it,
भी help कर रहा है तो we are glad that we are able to contribute to
exactly,
the
exactly.
preparation.
And I'm sure like maybe like everybody who's watching might feel that, this is, I think it's just a long shot or something. But being on that side and then being on this side, I can certainly say that I think it's really possible. I mean, I am like, I don't think we are anybody to, make such like things or something. But I'm sure that if people like me and us like can be here, it's everybody's game. Everybody can do
Definitely.
such a thing for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Varshil, you had attempted CET'22 and the questions were jumbled.
Yeah.
You tell our aspirants what was your strategy to attempt the paper?
Sure. So, in the initial test that I used to give earlier, I used to give it section wise, but then eventually I realized that even 2021, CET 2021 was jumbled. And later also they said that the paper pattern is going to be jumbled. So I had to shift the strategy a little bit. Then going from like section wise, having like time for every section was of no point. So I decided to hit 30 to 40 questions in a limited time frame. So I think the 200 questions, if we split it in 150 minutes, what I did was I used to answer 40 questions in 30 minutes, however good or however bad. So that way I split the test into 5 sections. And maybe in the first 40 questions, I am getting 20 right, 30 right, or however. Like I used to still keep the same thing. Like if it's a difficult question, it'll be to solve later, but then in those 30 minutes only. So eventually you can cover a good amount of questions, and the difficult ones are of course left for later, are marked for later. So even in the test that I had given, I think I was in the slot 3, and we had a lot of quant questions. So even in that, the difficult ones were left for later. And I would say in the last 15 minutes that I had around 20 to 30 questions to be solved easily. And they were good, difficult ones. So, like, not all of them were attempted at a good efficiency or positive level. But I guess 170 to 160 questions were there at a good efficiency. So maybe that helped me, get through and get a good percentile.
Got it. So 200 questions वो 40 में divide करके you're creating 5 sections and each
Yeah,
section
yeah.
को
For
you're giving 30
30
minutes.
minutes.
Right, that's a good strategy. ऐसा लगेगा कि there are 5 different sections. एक
Yeah, yeah.
section को खत्म करो, whatever tough, whatever easy फटाफट खत्म करो. Tough maybe if you feel there's some questions that you can answer later, उसको mark करो, and if it's really tough, if you think it cannot be answered, तो mark
It will
करके
be
मतलब
for
नहीं है, else
later.
you'll be wasting your time.
Exactly, that's so true. So I just mark any answer that if you feel that it's going to take more than 2 minutes, तो उसमें वैसे भी मैं कुछ भी answer mark करते I used to go ahead, because even if you are to invest 2 minutes in that question, it'll be a little pointless. Like, so that's why I used to just mark it randomly and move ahead for the next questions. And
Got it.
actually, I used to practice this in the tests that I had given, like mock tests that I gave later on. So probably that helped me. But whatever strategy works out best for anybody, that is what you should follow even in the exam. Like maybe this might work for someone, but it might not work for someone else. So everybody might have a different strategy. But this strategy really worked out for me well. Like I practiced this for the last 5 to 10 mocks, and that helped me. So anything that you strategize, if it's well practiced, I think in the test, like, it won't be like a different strategy that you're going with or something. So that should probably help you, everybody.
Guys, I really like this strategy. You can give this a shot in one of your mocks. It's like having 5 different milestones. हर एक milestone खत्म कर जाओ 30 मिनट में, and then you can see how your progress is. At least कुछ रहता है यार दिमाग में कि there are 5 sections, वरना if you're just solving randomly, you would not even understand कि किधर पहुंचे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, time कितना जा रहा है. So it's a bit difficult that way to keep a track. Hey Varshil, my penultimate question would be, so CET, the tentative dates of CET this year is March 18 and 19. So roughly 2 months for our aspirants. So if you would have given CET 23 right now, what your strategy would have been for next 2 months?
Right. That's a great question. And I think coming from TTP, you all are the providers for this information mostly. So what I learned in my last year and what I would pass on, also most of it comes from TTP as well. And also my friend Chinmay, who had helped me a lot in the last year. So what he used to tell me and what I used to follow, abide by mostly, was give mocks regularly. However bad or however good your performance is, like weekly, I think we just have 2 months now. So that's if we count 60 days, even if we divide it by 2, so maybe giving mocks every alternate day, that still leaves us with 30 mocks. So I wouldn't say mocks would be a number, like increase the number of mocks, but the quality mocks. So giving a mock each day, alternate day, and analyzing it the next day, that helps you understand what are your weak areas, strong areas, and also like gives you an idea where you should work on, what are the topics that you should work on, and what are the topics that you're already good at. So maybe increase the speed there and maybe increase the efficiency here. So that is what the mocks give an idea about. And giving the mocks also, like, and then practicing it the next day. Like, let's say you understand you are weak at syllogism or reverse syllogism, as basic as that in the logical reasoning sections. So you can practice that the next day. And similarly in quants, you know that ratio proportion is somewhere that you're lagging. So probably practice that, like practice a 50, 60 more sums the next day. That should help you, get your game in that specific topic. So that is what I did in my last year. And I would also suggest most of the students to do the same. So then they can understand what are their weak areas. And in the mocks that they give later, they'll also understand if they are improving in that front, or, they should just leave it totally. So that is what I would suggest most of the students to follow.
Perfect. So mocks देने से ज़्यादा important is analyzing the mocks. So
Yeah,
whenever you're giving a
most
mock,
certainly.
it's not just कि दे दिया, you saw your score, you're done with that mock. No, you wait, and on that day itself or the next day, whatever you feel like, analyze the mock thoroughly. 3, 4, 5 घंटे जितना देना है दो, जितना टाइम दोगे
Very true.
उतना better you'll analyze the mock. Just understand ki which section mein you are really poor, you're not performing. Just work on that section, then give section wise tests, or you can go back to your hard copies, have a look at that chapter, read the basic stuff, and then reattempt that mock or another mock. That's up to you, and then see your scores improving. That's great, Varshil. My last and final question is, so 2 months here, there's so much stress and anxiety. So what do you used to do to overcome that and stay confident, stay calm during the final days of CET?
Right. So actually, this is something that every student has been through, I believe. And when, like, let's say when in some of the tests you are getting a very low score, it's natural to be disheartened, demotivated. Luckily for me, one of my senior friends was also in this zone a year before. So I used to go to him and be like, यार ये नहीं हो रहा है भाई, कुछ कर दे, बता दे यार, ऐसा ऐसा थोड़ी ना चलेगा, ऐसा थोड़ी ना मिलेगा JB. But then consistently he used to put positive thoughts. Okay, no, it's possible. Just be consistent. And to be very honest, I am a sports person. Like if anything goes wrong, goes right, I used to play football, cricket, jo bhi hai. So because going somewhere like running or playing any kind of a physical sport, it helps you vent out. Like once you're there, you're doing something, you're moving your body, and then getting back to where you are. So I think that helps a little, in your preparation area, and it keeps you in the game. So I believe having a person, having a friends or your family, going to them and like just venting it out that this is what is going on, getting positive thoughts or positivity from them, and then diverting yourself to sports for some time at least in the day will definitely help you to be in the game. And I think 2 months, every student right now is in the zone. And just to be there for the next 2 months, I think it's possible. Like even now, when I look back, like 2 months earlier, I used to think, yeah, nahi hone wala, it's a long shot. But then a month before, I used to think that, okay, if this is improving in this area, like if these things are going so well, it is possible. So every student at the moment should think that, yeah, everything is possible, and just be consistent in the game. For sure, then it's possible.
Thank you so much for that, Varshil. I'm sure that would really help our viewers. And guys, we at the
Sure.
top percentile, we are offering a course which has been made by 6 toppers of CET 2020. It has got all the shortcut tricks and the tricks that we actually used to crack the CET 2020 and eventually got us into JBIMS. So guys, we are offering courses, we are offering weekly doubt solving sessions, we are offering weekly mentoring sessions. There's access to our exclusive WhatsApp group as well, where all the students and us, we are in that group and we try to solve different questions or queries, whatever the students have. And also the link to our Insta page, our Telegram page, our phone number, and the website is in the description below. So you can text us wherever you want to, whatever doubts you have, it will be clarified. Thank you so much, Bashir, for being with us, giving us time and helping our
Thank you for
aspirants.
Thank you
It
so much,
was
Vidhan.
great talking to
Really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you for your time.